It's amazing how small acts of kindness can completely change your day. Smiling at a stranger or complimenting someone can mean a lot. You can also practice intentional kindness, where you plan different ways you can be kind to people in advance. Lindsay Andreotti helps inspire people here to help lead the restoration of our planet. Today, Lindsay tells us more about the 4 pillars of kindness that allow us to show more love and compassion. So Lindsay is back with us, and today, Lindsay, we're talking about kindness. Actually, we're going to be talking about kindness for a little bit of time because I think this is really important. We live in this world where I think people could be a little bit more kind to each other. I don't know if you've noticed that or not.
Yes.
So I want to focus on this some more because obviously this can lead to a lot of problems because that kind of attitude, it's contagious, right? You can be positive and uplifting, and that's contagious.
Yes.
Or you could be negative and Debbie Downer and make everyone around you miserable. So we obviously want to focus on the kindness side of it. And Lindsay, I view you as the kindness queen because you talk about kindness all the time, right?
I do.
And so, what have you learned in this?
So many things, Sunny, and I love that you're bringing this up because I think for humans right now on this planet at this time, it's so much easier to get caught up in the negativity.
Yeah.
It feels like it just floats around day in and day out, and you grab a hold of it, and then you find yourself at the end of the day feeling really icky. So what I've discovered in the last 1.5 to 2 years by focusing on kindness, I'm getting so many more results of kind people doing things, having experiences of feeling much better about myself and my world around me. There's something about kindness that is infectious, and it's the one disease you probably do want to get, if that's a thing. I call it the virus you want to catch. So there's ways in which we could spend more time being kind and calling it intentional. There's discussions about having random acts of kindness, which is right now I feel kind, so I do X. I'm really promoting intentional kindness. How can you start your day using the 4 pillars of kindness, which I know we're going to talk about later, but how can you start your day thinking about, I wonder how I'll be kind today?
Yeah.
So it's a good practice. It's really good practice.
Yeah. I love that. Waking up in the morning and thinking, how can I be kind today? Because I wake up and I usually do my affirmations, which is on the note of positivity.
Absolutely.
But that's not one of the things, I'll be honest, that's not one of the things that I think about is how can I be kind today? But that may be something that I need to add, in order to kickstart the day. Because you always feel better. At least I do. When I'm kind, when I do something nice for someone else, I feel much better when I do it for someone else than even when I do it for myself.
Oh, we're going to have a fun time with that because I think that's really true for almost all of us. Let me talk about the 4 pillars, and then I think we'll just share a little bit. Number 1 on the list of the 4 pillars is be kind to yourself. It's kind of like that adage of being on an airplane where the staff says, put your oxygen mask on yourself first before assisting others. Right. Same idea with kindness. If you're not being kind to yourself, if your self-talk is consistently tearing yourself down, and then you attempt to be kind to someone else, it generally comes out inauthentic, not quite the way you want it. There's a lot of things to that. So being kind to self is pillar number 1. Pillar number 2, be kind to others. That seems so simple, right? The golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Well, I talk a lot about how there could be some differentiation in what feels kind to you may be different for me, So we have to kind of find out what other people need, but we can talk about that too. 3rd pillar is looking for kindness and being graceful in receiving it. So one of the things that happens a lot is people deflect. And we'll talk about that at a deeper level too, about how to really learn to receive the goodness and receive the kindness. And then the last is examining the world out there and intentionally looking for kindness. Einstein said, that which you focus on expands. And if you look for it, we're going to find more of it. And then all of a sudden, your days, your weeks, your month just feel a whole lot better because you're spending the time looking. So those are the 4 pillars, and I am practicing them, and I can tell you it is magical what begins to happen in the world around me. So it's worth sharing.
Well, so what are some of those things? I'm just curious. Maybe you can list just a couple, like in practicing this, what are some of the things that you noticed?
Okay. So one thing that I've noticed is that I'm getting everything that I want without ever asking anymore. It's kind of like if you've ever studied the law of attraction or done any of the, set it and forget it, put your intentions out there and then let it go.
Right.
When you practice kindness and you're just being who you are and you invoke kind practices on all 4 pillars, all of a sudden, all those things that you've ever talked about wanting come right at you. And you will find these experiences happening more and more. The synchronicities increase. The amount of people that are magnetized to you because you practice kindness is exponential.
Yeah.
I put out a request for people to join my kindness crew 1 week, and I literally had 341 people sign up in a week.
Wow.
And all I did was ask. So, yeah, kindness does multiply, and it's a better feeling for that kind of multiplication.
Mm-hmm.